At a time when there's a debate about the privilege and the opportunities and the old boys club of private schools, independent education, it seems extraordinary that the headmaster of Dulwich College, that's the place that Nigel Farage, of course, honed his skills of adversity and public service, his rhetoric and his divisive machinations. And this is the place, one of Britain's most prestigious and oldest educational institutions, and the headmaster there, Joseph Spence, has got into trouble. The significance of Dulwich College extends beyond its academic reputation, particularly through its association with the picture gallery, the Dulwich Picture Gallery, and the historical ties to the Polish royal family that donated so many of the pictures in the picture gallery. But recent events cast a shadow over its leadership, prompting reflections on the role of such institutions in modern Britain and their stance on or their contribution to the modern debate about our culture. So, and there are two things here. The first is the idea of somebody losing their temper, and the second is the idea of honour and that they should delay doing anything until there's an investigation. Now, this parallels what happens in government, and you just think, well, if these people are in a position of authority and they don't have the honour to step down when they know they've overstepped the mark, then what signal does that send to the rest of society? Dulwich College was founded in 1619 by Edward Allen, and it's long been a beacon of academic educational excellence. And it's got this huge cultural depth to its legacy. The Dulwich Picture Gallery, founded in 1811, is England's oldest public art gallery and houses an impressive collection of European old masters. And its existence is intricately linked with the college, as the founders of the gallery were also deeply involved in the college's affairs. I think it's up there with institutions like Stoke College, a much more modern institution that is centered on such a beautiful building and such beautiful surroundings, a place of art, a place of rich cultural heritage, and one would expect a greater leadership. And Dulwich College holds this unique place in European history with its connection to King Stanislav II Augustus of Poland, playing this crucial role in enriching the school and the gallery. And this association not only highlights the college's cultural and historical importance, but also underscores its long-standing connections with Europe. And this recent issue with the spotlight shining on not on Dulwich College's cultural significance or its educational merit, but the conduct of its outgoing headmaster, Joseph Spence. Spence, who's served as headmaster since 2009, was going to step down next year, has now stepped down prematurely following an incident where he lost his temper with a member of staff at some sort of party. And this led to an independent investigation, the findings of which ultimately contributed to his decision to resign earlier than planned. And in his letter, Spence acknowledges the incident, calling it the only time in his career such a thing had occurred, and expressing regret for his actions. And while he attempts to frame the situation as a moment of reflection on the toll that leadership can take, the damage done to his reputation and to the school, the institution, is enormous. And at a time when there is a focus on independent education and VAT and this idea of privilege and responsibility. And he clearly doesn't offer responsibility or thought. And there may be reasons behind what he did, and there may be people defending him, but this is the news, and this is the image that will live. So this is the image that we judge him by. That is the point. The incident raises critical questions about the qualities expected of leaders in any institution, and Dulwich College, like any other top-tier school, private and state, is seen not only as an academic institution but as a shaper of children's lives, and this is the example that they get. A lack of control, the behaviour of a headmaster, which falls. The moment he did this, he should have been tendering his resignation. There shouldn't have been any need for an investigation. The behaviour of a headmaster should be in the same way as the behaviour of a senior politician. The moment that behaviour falls below the standard, they should resign. They should have the honour to resign. When a leader fails to uphold the values of professionalism, respect, accountability, it casts doubt on the institution's ability to instil the same values in its students. To lose his temper with anybody else, maybe there can be excuses. I don't know. But to lose his temper with a member of his own staff, with a teacher, to undermine another teacher, is beneath contempt. And the transition of Spence into an ambassadorial or advisory role is pathetic. How can someone who has demonstrated such a lapse of judgment continue to represent the institution or speak on behalf of education? How can this be interpreted as the college attempting to protect its image, rather than fully holding this man accountable for what he did and the reputational damage that he has caused? It raises concerns about transparency, integrity, and about the whole process by which institutions in modern Britain address misconduct of this sort. This is about projecting an image of education. This is about standards that he would expect students to follow. And if he can't uphold these standards, he has no right to be in that job. He should have resigned the moment it happened. And then maybe he could command some respect. At the moment, it's, people like me will stand up and will say, this person shouldn't be seen in society again. This person should go off, do charity work, follow the example of Liz Truss, and just retire from the public gaze. In the medieval period, he should join a convent or something. I have no problem with his future repentance, with his future dedication to charities, to private work, whatever. But his public life, he took on the role of being a public example to young people, and he has failed. And he's not had the grace to back down immediately. Had he done that immediately and said, okay, fine, sorry, I've been silly, I would probably have even argued for him keeping his job. But instead he tried to cling on. And we've seen that in politics. These cling-ons who think that they are above the example that they give. The situation in Dulwich College is a microcosm of the larger issues facing modern Britain, and the controversy surrounding its headmaster highlights the critical importance of leadership and the values that prestigious institutions must embody. And as Britain navigates debates on educational reform, which it must, and social equity, the actions of institutions like Dulwich College will be closely scrutinised, and the activities of this ex-headmaster bring that school and other schools into question. It brings the entire question of independent education very much into focus, and not in a good way. This man is a disgrace. It serves as a reminder that privilege and prestige come with responsibility to uphold the highest standards of conduct, not because it's some sort of grand building, but because this is a place where people have paid for their children to be set a good example. And even if they weren't paying, a head teacher is there to set a good example. Instead, so many head teachers seem to think that they're running some sort of business. It's without the moral authority at its helm, these institutions have no credibility.